But yeah, the stairs came down with an almighty crash and actually broke into 3 pieces. Because, yeah, it was that well put together. How are we doing? 45%. So we should get another round out before I need to go and get the tipper. But at least nobody was on it or underneath it. We now have new stairs. The underneath is all framed in, and I think he's going to be starting on the electrics. And then once that's done, we'll he'll be drywalling, putting up the cupboard doors, and we'll have a nice set of stairs into a completely bare, just concrete wall basement. But it does mean I can now park the car down in the back yard rather than up at the front. Yeah, we need to get a freezer. A bunch of other stuff we need to do, but a lot of it is no biggie. I'm kind of looking at the basement and thinking, well, these are some of the things I would like to do, but I want to see what everything else looks like before I make a firm decision on what else I want to do or how I want to do it. So yeah, we're going to have a little sort of play area. Some of our older furniture, which at least one piece is broken, and we've got sort of a coffee table, a couple of dining room tables, and we'll start putting them out so that you can play games or do puzzles. Problem at the moment, we've got the kitchen table or the dining room table, and so we eat at that. We have kids over, 3-year-old over Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and so you can't really do a jigsaw puzzle on that table because pieces would go missing. But if we could have a couple of tables set up downstairs, plus we eat at the table, so it's sort of, your 2,000 piece jigsaw, you're going to have to clear it off the table so we can eat. It's sort of, that doesn't really work out too well. But no, once we've got that sort of area in place downstairs, we can start, hosting the kids downstairs to play if needed. Put some toys down there. Maybe not during the winter. It's a little bit cold down there. We are going to get some insulation put in to basically finish off the installation, or the insulation, not installation. So hopefully it won't get too cold down there. We've also got considerations of opening up the ductwork so that when the furnace is on, we can intentionally blow warmer air into the basement. It won't bring the basement up to any reasonable temperature, but it will mean that it feels warmer during winter, and then we can close the vents off, or the registers off, during summer, because we don't want more cold air blowing into an already 10-20 degree cooler basement. And we are going to be full any second now. Doink. But so long as, you know, so long as the temperature remains constant and it's reasonably comfortable, then that's all we're really looking for. We bought this house primarily because the last house, master bedroom, was in the basement. And so for Mrs. Osa and I, the first thing we had to do every morning was go upstairs in order to have breakfast, and for me to start working. And we're getting on in our years. I mean, we can still negotiate stairs, but we're kind of getting to the point in our lives where we're looking at it and saying that might not always be the case. So maybe what I should do is, or maybe what we should do, if this is the house we're going to live in for all our lives, it would be good if everything we absolutely have to be able to do is on one floor. So the laundry room is upstairs just off the kitchen, and so we do not have to go down to the basement. So it then becomes an option when we do, or if we feel like it, type of thing. And so that's more comfortable for us. And it's a similar theory to I'm into model railroads, so I watch Charlie of Chadwick Model Railways, or Model Railway, has a YouTube channel, and he's expanding his simple circle layout, and he was getting to thinking, well, to get to the viewing area, I have to crawl under the layout, so I have to be careful with the expansion that there's still a narrow section of track that I can crawl under. But again, at his age, he's thinking, while I can do that today, maybe in a few years' time, I'm not going to be able to. And so maybe I don't want a circle. And so he's currently working, he's cut a whole chunk out of the existing model, and he's putting a pair of helixes in and running the return section underneath, just so he doesn't have to crawl in the future. And it's sort of, as you get older, you have to plan for these things. It's kind of like, I like my car, best car I've ever owned, but to be frank, it can be difficult to get into on a bad day, and climbing into an SUV is much easier for me. But every so often, it's sort of, if it's just me going to church because Mrs. Osa's feeling under the weather or whatever, then I'll go in the car. And that's so much fun. I get to drive my car. And not have to drive in the lumbering tank. But when there's a bunch of us, SUV's just easier. Plus shopping, SUV's easier. Supposedly our fish tank furniture is supposed to be in at the pet shop this week. We only ordered it about 6 weeks ago. Mrs. Osa was getting on my case. You're going to have to phone them up this week and find out when it's going to happen, because if they're not going to deliver it soon, we need our money. We're going to have to ask them for our money back and figure something different out. And so, okay, fine. I was planning to pop around there Monday evening and just check in. And they called me Monday afternoon and said, we've just received word your furniture's going to be in this week. So today is still this week. So I should plan on having to go and get that, and that's going to have to happen in the SUV because it's not exactly small. It's actually going to have to be 2 trips, because I'm going to have to bring the furniture home and get that in situ, and then go back and get a tank and all the stuff to go on top of it. because I don't know that it's all going to fit in the back of the SUV in one trip. Might do, but I don't know. And then I'll have to get on YouTube and watch fish tank, how to set up the ideal fish tank, because we've done it before, but it was all sort of it was really just buying a kit and setting it up, and so it would be good to know how to do it and not have your fish eat each other. Well, I think part of that was because of various antagonizations from the various fishes. I'm not sure it was a case of these fish don't eat their own. I think given enough provocation, some of them might. But you read the words and it's sort of, these fish need at least 3 because they're fairly social, but when one of them's going around antagonizing the rest of them, I think other things get involved, and sort of, we might be social, but we're not being social with you, dude. And yeah. Of course, there's always the question whether our last surviving fish from that first tank is actually going to make it into the new one and thrive. He's been stuck in a fishbowl for 10 months now, thanks to the lockdown. I mean, we were trying to get this done when we moved in, and it was sort of, okay, we need to get new floors, we need to do this, we need to do that, and then once the room's set up, we can set up a fish tank and he can move in, and then lockdowns happened and everything else, and not able, he's been stuck in this little fishbowl for 10 months now, and that was never our intent. But he's still going, and the snails we rescued are still going. Our first tank, we decided to get a snail to keep the tank clean, and I think within a week there were hundreds of snails in the tank, and then about couple more weeks the big snail died, so that was kind of sad, but we had hundreds of snails rather than just the one. And so when we transferred things to the fishbowl, we grabbed a couple of the snails. I'm not into transferring 100 snails in a little fishbowl, and I think that would have overwhelmed the bowl, so there's about 3 or 4 in there, and they're growing to quite a size, so give it another year and we'll probably have another 100 snails suddenly appear on us. Because no, it died. It was just unexpected that we ended up with 100 snails when we just bought one.
Maybe that one's pregnant.
Well, that would appear to have been the case, since we bought one and then we had 100. Yeah. Okay, that's done.
I really want to get Nemo and Dory, but they might eat that other fish that's in the little fish tank.
Yeah.
Dory and Nemo are cute.
Okay.
We should get some catfish. Or those really big goldfish.
That fish we have is a catfish.
Yeah, but really big goldfish. Really
No, we
big.
don't need a big goldfish. Well, we won't be getting any goldfish because,
They die easily.
well, also they're not tropical fish and we have a tropical fish tank. But that fish we have is a catfish. And we will be getting more of them because they keep the bottom of the tank clean.
You know what I was thinking?
Wow.
So, what is that? What day did you get that fish?
I don't know.
Well, it's probably gonna be his birthday soon.
I don't know.
And his name's Gerald.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's probably Gerald's birthday soon.
Okay, now we need the map back up.
I was thinking if we could get things to decorate the inside of the fish tank. Like those rock pebbles and the little place where the fish can hide if they want behind the sink.
Yes, that will be happening.
We can get a SpongeBob.
No, we had SpongeBob already.
Who doesn't like SpongeBob?
Yeah, we'll figure stuff out for the fish, but first things first, we need a tank.
Do you need me to go here?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Oh, Neil.
What?
There's gonna be sun 11 to 5 p.m.
Okay.
See?
Well, it's cloudy right now.
There's gonna be sun. So people can get vitamin D.
Okay. We will.
And tomorrow's cloudy and
I'm going to have to guess. Around about here.
one day.
76543210. There we are. So that might be. The problem with having an island in the middle of the field. Hard to judge your cut through. But I think I probably should have started that one a little further west. So how's the day going? So I guess if we get today done, I'll probably park the harvesting equipment down at the back end where the silage bunker is. Just because we're gonna need it for the sunflowers. I can put the header away, so we'll stay. Well, can I put the header away? I'm going to check the contract fields because there may be harvesting contracts need done. I don't think so. I think the locals have been quite on the ball when it comes to. Come on, go tractor. Let's try and get that straight and. Okay, for some reason cruise control's not working. That's weird. Oh, that could be, let's tap the pedals and then hit cruise control. There we go. Okay, let's have a look at contracts. Fertilizing, sowing, baling. So yeah, I think all the contract fields, obviously baling fields are grass fields, sowing and fertilizing are the arable fields that we can do contracts on. And I think we are late harvesting when compared with everybody else on the map. So that's I'll do a quick check on the map shortly, and we can figure out potentially if there are any contracts left. Actually, we could probably still do that now. So, ready to harvest fields. There are exactly none. That there is growing. Oats. I doubt that is a... I think that was probably just planted. So he's already cultivated and seeded that with oats. At least that's my reckoning. So no, nothing to harvest this year apart from our fields. So once this is all done, I can put this header away. We'll get the helianthus header out and park that up at the back of the yard, and they'll be ready to go when that happens, when they get ripe. And yeah, I probably don't mind doing some cultivating work and seeding work. Because we do get paid for doing that, so that's a good thing. Around here. Good. I mean, it's not a big yield because it's canola, but this should be a good income field. Probably be better if I did sugar beets in it, but no, we are not even going there. What did we do before? We did that field, which is 16, and that one, which is 13. So we did a combination of 29. We got 14 this year. This is 20. So actually, considering our first sugar beet harvest, this field is smaller. Oh. So it's actually, this field on its own is not as bad as the two fields we did in the first year, but no, looking at the size of this field, it just kind of puts me off. It's sort of, it's so big. I don't want to put sugar beets in this. You know what, I might do stupid and do it anyway eventually, but for right now, no. I have to check my rotations actually. Is still working? Yes. Crop rotations, we do sugar beets after cereals. So our options for sugar beets next year, isn't happening. This was a cereal field and this was a cereal field. This one's too small for the equipment, and that field is 24 acres. And I ain't doing sugar beets in that field. So we might be skipping sugar beets next year. Unless I buy a new field over the winter and its previous crop was a cereal, in which case, yes, I could put sugar beets down in a new brand new field. So that was potatoes. That's just been planted. What the heck is that? That's barley. Yeah. So if I want to buy that field, I could do sugar beets in there. That field there is just massive. That field there's a possibility, but it never had anything in it. So again, not ideal. Or we just say to heck worrying about beneficial yield, and we just buy a new field and plant it as is. Like I said, I don't really want to be doing 20 acres of sugar beets a year, because that was laborious. Oh, and the other concern I have is next year I need to increase my grass fields, because we're going to be splitting the sheep up this winter. No, wrong way. That way. Oh, is that going to fill up? 5,000. That's going to be very close. Yeah, no, that's going to fill up, so let's do that. But not doing sugar beets is a bit of a shame, because we did buy the equipment already, so it's kind of good to make use of it when we can. So keep going, keep going, keep going, and do that. Yay. Don't hit the pipe, and off we go. Now, because of the situation with, I'm still undecided whether I'm introducing precision farming on this playthrough this winter. What I'm planning to do is plant oilseed radish in all of the arable fields, except the ones which are going to be grass. So I think field 5 is going to be grass. But the rest of them are all, I'm just going to plant oilseed radish, and I'll leave that for the entirety of winter. So that we can add precision farming, test the fields, lime where it's needed, plough in the oilseed radish, which should alter the nitrogen levels, and then see what happens from there. But because of the conversation I had with one of the farming agency guys, precision farming is bugged, and until they fix the bugs, precision farming group are not putting precision farming stuff into their maps. Now obviously, because part of their maps are things like clover and linseed oil and goodness knows what, or linseed, goodness else knows what else, those additional crops need to have ideal nitrogen levels added to the map. So yeah, okay, fair due.